I am at online stalking. I'm amazing at it, guys.
Hi everyone, I'm Emily. If you're not familiar with who I am, I have been making art content here on YouTube for the past 6 years. For the majority of those 6 years and several years prior, I had been facing stalking, harassment, and threats from one very recognizable source. Now I know who my stalker is. My stalker is Shannon, better known as CreepShow Art, and what I believe to be her current husband, Anthony Parker, who is also my abusive ex-partner.
This video is being made for posterity to show I didn't do what I was accused of, and to show that what Emily has accused me and my husband of not only never happened to her, but could not have happened.
Hello everyone, and today we're talking about the CreepShow Art situation. This has been a sort of ongoing situation for the past 6 or so months. She first went dark 6 months ago, but now she's back. And apparently the first cancellation wasn't enough, so here we are again. She came out on New Year's Eve with a 2-hour-long sort of expose on Emily. In case you're unfamiliar with the original situation, I will be going over that briefly and then going on to the current situation to talk about it.
Now, let's dig into some of the alarming posts released on Locale allegedly made by Shannon. Now, in the post, there were many common themes sprinkled throughout, including heavy use of racist slurs, ableist language, transphobia, and race baiting. She sounds like fun. She also doxed her non-binary sibling while they were hospitalized, as well as intentionally misgendering them, who made a public statement about what they witnessed with Shannon in regards to her relationship with Anthony, her harassment of Emily, and her transphobia. I actually caught her using multiple accounts to harass who I now know to be Emily. I don't remember the year this happened, I just know I saw that she had multiple accounts messaging cruel and kind things to someone. When I asked her about it, she told me it was Anthony's ex.
Now that was just the very tip of the iceberg right there. It goes deeper and deeper. And the most disturbing, disgusting thing for me is all her posts on Locale were being simultaneously made as she was promoting on her channel. Polar opposite of what she was doing on Locale, she was promoting on her channel. And as someone who was a fan for a while before this happened, it was disgusting to find out, as well as some of her friends she was talking very badly about on Locale. They were not only disgusted by what they found out she was saying that wasn't about them, but also by what she was saying about them. Here's a clip from Ready to Glare.
It's been very difficult to wrap my head around and to accept that I came to the conclusion of believing that those posts were in fact made by her. And there's a lot floating around about other things she may have done. A lot of it looks very damning. The thing is, once I accepted the admin situation, and attaching with that the IP spoofing being unlikely, that for me is kind of the end of the situation, because for me, once you go behind my back and say about me, it almost doesn't matter what you're saying about me, it's done because the trust is gone there.
And it isn't just Ready to Glare. There was dozens and dozens of YouTubers that were friends with Shannon / CreepShow Art, and she completely ghosted them. This is just kind of me summarizing her character and what she has done. But now we get to the part of the video where I have to leave a disclaimer. We're going to be talking about some serious and heavy topics and somebody's personal story, so please, viewer discretion is advised.
But Anthony and I, like I stated in my original video, had a flirtationship and a professional relationship all the way up until about 2015. I think what a lot of people are failing to realize is that this took place over the course of many years. Even after Anthony R-worded me, I still continued to have a friendly relationship with him, a close, toxic, codependent relationship with him. And even though it wasn't like a committed or serious relationship, I still associated with him because he fully convinced me that it was just like an embarrassing moment for me. It was something him and I just needed to move past. And I was ashamed of it, so I believed that. It was not until years later in a therapy session that I finally came to terms with the fact that it was R-word. I was intoxicated. I was in and out of consciousness. That is what makes it R-word.
Just to give a little more background and a heads up of what we're going to jump into now. This was Emily. She is in fact the main subject of that video we're about to talk about. Some insight is that she had a substance dependency problem going on for many years, and I feel odd talking about it, but it is such a huge thing in CreepShow's video. Her main goal of his video is to prove that her husband, Anthony, did not R-word Emily. She does not acknowledge the lolcow post whatsoever in this video. It is all about Emily. Shannon just has such intimate knowledge of Emily's life that, in fact, I believe she is a stalker, and that she's been compiling this for months or years beforehand, just like Emily had presumed in her first video, which I showed at the very beginning of this video.
Now I know who my stalker is. My stalker is Shannon, better known as CreepShow Art, and what I believe to be her current husband, Anthony Parker.
This video is being made to simply defend my and my husband's name and prove we did not do the things we were accused of. I am going to go through Emily's statements point by point with evidence to show how she is lied on screen, and I'm going to leave links in the description box down below to everything I'm talking about. That way you can verify the authenticity. The only things I will not be linking will be Emily's Facebook accounts, of which there are 3, where she goes by different names, because they are all seemingly active. 99% of the evidence shown in this video is going to be from Emily's own accounts, including posts from her Emily Artful YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. All of these are publicly accessible, all of these were found after she made these false claims, and all of these accounts link directly back to Emily.
Alright, that was quite a bit to take in at the very end, with all those screenshots. Little scary. And let me tell you, there is a little bit of evidence or proof or an interesting tidbit that says she did not gather all of this after the allegations. And she's right, all of this is publicly available, sure, but it's gonna get deep and dark really fast.
A huge crush on my teacher. It's just embarrassing and shameful, so you'll see him randomly in here.
In the video, she says that this was harmless, however, it was clearly not. She makes a fan character out of her teacher, who she named Gizmo, takes photos of him without knowing, which he then states he told her to delete, calls him sexy, states she loves him, draws him sexually, and after feeling upset by him being cold towards her, posts a journal in which she says he, quote, emotionally her for not returning her feelings. She then made a new account under the name XGizmoX, which again is the nickname she gave to her teacher. Here's proof that it's her.
I just want to point out that these posts were from 2005. You want to know how old I was in 2005? 5. It is insane how far back she went. Like, I personally can't even find my own DeviantArt I had when I was like 13 years old. How did she find Emily's? But that's not all, folks. We continue.
She would often post about how she was being harassed by a group of people, some who even went so far as to hack her account and send hate to her friends. She also did this before she and Anthony started working professionally together after she got sober in 2012. On her Facebook, Emily wrote this post on December 9th, 2012. This shows the harassment she claims to be a victim of started in high school at least 3 years before Anthony knew her. I also have not found any proof of the harassment other than this statement. I personally don't know if any of this actually happened, but it's incredibly strange that she has had multiple instances of this happening in her life, all while no evidence of said stalking actually exists.
I like how Shannon says there is no evidence of said stalking actually existing. Sure, maybe when she was 13 she didn't think to screenshot every little bully she had on DeviantArt, but this right here is exactly what she was talking about.
Emily worked on multiple songs with Anthony, and they worked together from 2013 to 2014. The song she is referencing didn't come out until 2014, and it was the last song they worked together. They had worked on another song, Autumn's Moment, in 2013. She was not in the music video for Autumn's Moment because of the online harassment she was already receiving for posting content under the name Emily Sugarfruit, harassment that Anthony actively defended her against.
This once again is a little creepy, how she has all these little tidbits of her life, and she does dedicate a whole lot of the video to the Emily Sugarfruit incident, and I'll explain a little bit about what that is. She spent about 20 minutes on it herself, but I will spend about 20 seconds or less. Well, back in around 2013, Emily had a channel with that name, and she did a review of an episode of One Piece in the bathtub, and it was this whole big thing. And at the time, it was one of the biggest pieces of news, I guess, in the anime community. Sorry, I'm exaggerating.
Please don't kill me, that's a joke.
It was a big deal, apparently, and people were bullying her because of it.
During this time, she was not talking to Anthony. However, Anthony and her did reconnect the month she got sober. They tried to meet up to talk about collaborating on music, and on November 7th, 2012, Emily posted this: "That awkward moment when you're supposed to meet someone without a phone somewhere, and that somewhere doesn't exist anymore." That somewhere she is talking about is Johnny Rockets, the one that used to be in Westgate Mall in Saratoga. And that someone is Anthony. This would be the first time they were meeting up after the breakup and her getting clean. They didn't end up meeting up on this day, as seen in this post, as well as this Facebook interaction between Emily and Anthony from his now defunct account, where she states she misses him and they make plans to see each other that week. This post is from November 28th, meaning they didn't meet up until December. Emily was also dating another person during this time, as seen in this Facebook post from November 26, 2012, 2 days before talking to Anthony. When Emily was actively using prior to November, according to that same blog, she was living with her ex-boyfriend, not at her father's home. She only moved back into her father's home sometime after March, about 6 months after getting sober. That means Anthony could not have snuck in through her bedroom window in her father's home to assault her while she was high on the way she stated, seeing as she was never high in that house and didn't move back until she was 6 months into her sobriety. And she kept that sobriety date of November 2012 up until she made a video slandering my husband and I.
I would just like to state here that Emily herself has said that he did not sneak into her room. She had let him in. So that does change it up a little bit. He didn't sneak in through her window. She was intoxicated and she let him in.
I've seen a few channels say that he broke into my home, and if you go back and listen to what I actually said, I never said that.
At this time, I'd like to share Emily's response to CreepShow's video and these more specific points. Emily says, "What's this? Proof I was not, in fact, completely forever sober when Shannon claimed I was? Then an addict lied about their sobriety? Couldn't be. Sorry, this paper is disgusting. It was in storage. Date of offense, 12/8/12. 2 months after Shannon claims." Just for some further context, she does say that she got a DUI at this time, and she does regret it. She said that she was not actively high, but the drugs were in her system, so she was still charged with a DUI.
Her statement about how Anthony took advantage of her is a lie. It's not the first time she has appeared to lie about an ex or romantic interest abusing her. This is not a he said, she said. Her own statements from the past 10 years go against what she's claiming now, and she purposely withheld all these statements in order to slander us.
Unfortunately, this will always be a he said, she said scenario because the proof ends past texts or DMs confirming our meetup. After that, there would be no way to prove or disprove this happened. He could argue he had no idea I was high, but I find that very unlikely because I was nodding in and out during the encounter, and keep in mind, commonly makes you forget things. It almost never causes people to completely hallucinate scenarios. I'm trying to be objective for the general audience, but I know what happened to me. That's all I can say. I'm continuing to look into past records for further evidence, so please bear with me. I can't promise as much meticulously picked apart detail as Shannon, but because I was the one being stalked, not the stalker.
Like, why is it?
What?
She stated in her now deleted video about how she dated a sociopath and that she was misdiagnosed as bipolar. This is so... And on Facebook, Shannon is saying on Facebook in 2009, 13 years minus 19, she was 16, 17 or so? Yeah, okay. Why does Shannon have a post from 13 years ago?
11 years ago, that says on the thing for the comments. So
Wait.
like, she took this screenshot how long ago?
Like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 4
so
maybe. I don't know. I can't do
she's
math
been
right now.
searching through it for a while.
You're right. That's a really good point. Shannon took this screenshot. Not this year, not last year, not 2 years ago, but 3 years ago, bro.
Now that was the interesting tidbit I was talking about earlier. A little weird. Screenshots from 3 years ago, and she wasn't stalking Emily until after she made her video on CreepShow and her husband? No, I don't think so. And to conclude this video, I'll be giving you a speedrun look through the script, just to show you kind of how long it is, and all that good stuff. Anyway, that's all for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Is CreepShow really a stalker? Is she not? Were you a fan of her before this whole debacle happened about 6 months ago? Also let me know. Oh, and something I forgot to mention. I believe the only reason she posted this video is because, wait for it, YouTube was about to take her ads off. Dun dun dun! Yeah, you have 7 months to post, or YouTube will just revoke your monetization. Anyways, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!